Right. Okay, so I just want to get this put up very quickly on Twitter. Before I get started. Fleet. Alright, so let me. Hopefully the stream is going okay. So let's get started on this. So yeah, I have to rebuild Van de Hammerhand. I completely destroyed the other one with sloppy basing from a spray can. Can was too cold, and it came out all textured and rotten and lumpy and everything. So luckily I had another Van de Hammerhand model on hand. I think I can take this whole side off. So let's see, we need number 1. And in one way I'm kind of happy that I have to redo this guy, because the original model that I built, he's glued on and he's set on his way up there. So I'm hoping to paint these separate, so I can paint the rider and Vandus himself all separate. Although, what is the name of his Drakot? Rex. Just call him Rex for now. One more piece stuck here. There we go. So we have the first piece off. Then we need to build a head 2 and 4. There's 2. The mouthpiece, number 4. So we need piece number 7, which is the underbelly. There we go. Plenty of chunky bits in this for this model. Shouldn't be too bad to try and clean up. Try and leave these bits in order as well. So that was number 7. Number 3. Yeah, so you can get this guy built up. Number 3, which is right here. Now, as far as I can remember, when I built this first, there was a pretty big gap in one of the parts. I think if I can find it on this. Yeah, there's a gap right in there. See that hole? And there's a gap in the neck there as well. It's not really too focused on it, but even when it's not focused, you can see that big hole in the neck. So hopefully this time I will get that sorted. So we have that part. Now we need the tail. Number 6. And I was so pissed off when I seen the state of the original one after I sprayed it. So that's the first page of this, so I'm going to clean these up first before I do anything. And maybe get these parts glued together. So maybe I might try and make this a more regular thing. Early day stream. It's a really good time of the day for me because I have lots of free time in this part. The afternoon, not as much. Although I do have quite a lot of painting to do. A lot of painting tutorials to get through now the next couple of weeks. That I really, really want to get done. I think that might be all the parts off this guy. Maybe smooth this out a little bit more. So that looks okay. Switch to the head. I think there's all the parts off this as well. Only 2, maybe 3 bits. So I'll be extra careful going over them. And this piece I have to be really careful. There's a couple of fragile pieces on this part of the head. Clean up this bit on the lightning bolt. Top of his mouth. The underbelly. Let's get this part cleaned up as well. Yeah. The saddle part. Be careful here as well. Don't take off any of these little notches. Yeah, saddle part is looking good. And then the final part, the tail. So I'm really excited to get this guy painted again. Like, I was so annoyed with the base, with the spray of the other one. Which I think you can have a look at him here. And I got most of the spray off. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit better for this. Zoom. But I want to keep the focus up. Yeah, there's a lot of textured parts, especially up here. The weapon, like they're really hard to get the parts, like the shoulder pad. Kind of the bigger parts in the front were easy enough to get off, but no, wasn't coming off. No way. So I really that really pissed me off. But as I said, I am incredibly blessed that I had a whole new starter box to go with. I did have to build like a few parts out of the box already, like a couple of Reavers, Blood Reavers, and a few other little parts, I think. But I was kind of hoping to keep Vandus Hammerhand and Korgus Cull parts for like something else down the line. But sure, there's no point in hoarding onto him forever. He gets to see Vandus himself getting built up now anyway. In 2 pieces. So right, let's get gluing with this. Alright, so we have the body. So the first part is to put the head together. So this is going to be this way. So it looks like it's going to fit snug in the other way. Okay, I think I see how it's going to fit. Tiny little bit of plastic sticking out here. This is going to be a really snug fit. If I can get it right, hopefully on the first time. Get in there. Snug, like a glove. So I'm really worried about the head part, because of the gaps that it leaves and everything. I'm hoping that it was a mistake on my part when I built it first, because then when I put it on now, it will look a lot better. So this goes in here, there's holes here. This part should be fairly alright as well, just have to hold it into place. As best I can. I said sponge, keep dropping it. Let's try and... There we go, that's pretty snug. Move it back a little bit, there you go. So here you can see we have like a half of the body of the Dracot. Very weird looking like that. Does it stand? Yeah, we have a skinny Dracot. So I think the underbelly is next. Yeah, here we go. Now, we need this way. And it kind of fits in here. Yeah, that fits in pretty snug as well. So I'm going to glue that in before I keep messing around too much. So I'm hoping the bigger gaps won't be in this one. Hopefully it was just me fucking up the first time I built this, what, like 5 years ago. I might need to give that a minute to set. Give it a bit of pressure to close that gap there. So yeah, I'm going to leave that for a second. I'm going to let that body part dry in there. So I'm going to start clipping off other parts. So hopefully everyone's doing alright out there. The weather was a bit shitty this morning, bringing the son to school. But it's looking good now. So let's see. We need number 5, which is the other half of the head. So if you're watching, let me know what you're working on in the comment section. As I said before, this is a rebuild. because I completely messed up the other Vandus Hammerhand model. I messed up. Who did I mess up? Vandus Hammerhand. Well, the model, I didn't mess up. It was a spray can that texturized on me. It was completely my fault. Messed up him. Messed up the Korgorat. Although the Korgorat in parts come out really good. This texture come out completely. It's just like the little details. I think the back part of him, including his ass, is fine. But then like those really fine parts that are hard to get to, like in the neck, the head and stuff like that. He might be okay. I might be able to salvage him. The Slaughter Priest. It looks like as if none of the textured spray come off him. So I might rebase him and see what he comes out like. And then this was the one I was a bit annoyed at because I was really wanting to keep the spare one of these guys. Keep the spare guy. Because this is a mental model. Look at that banner. Look at that corn banner. Like, you're not going to get more cooler than that. So most of him isn't too bad. Just parts of the leg. His head. So I might be able to salvage some of it. If I respray him and then I'll see what they're like from there. So we have the head. Just part of the head. Right, number 8, the bigger part of the body. Clip. 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 And then it looks like it's just the feet left. Oh, the crest part, number 9. How could I forget his chest plate? Crest plate. So the head, the part of the legs, the chest plate, and his foot, number 10. And that should be all the pieces for the Drakos. So hopefully I won't need to pull that sprue over again. So hopefully this is dry. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Ooh, I forgot to put the saddle in. Let's put the saddly part in. Alright, so let's get this in. This is going to fit in. Okay. In there. So I want to take a... I'll skip the dry fitting because I think this part looks pretty solid. Where it's meant to go. Pretty chunky. Ooh, I need to put a bit more glue up there because I want to see, make sure I seal all these gaps because this guy, get off the random bit of plastic. But yeah, let me know what you're working on in the comment section. Yeah, you can see a slight bit of a gap. Let's see, hopefully it won't go out of focus too much. Let me fix the focus so you can see this gap. Go back, go back, go back. Yeah, where is it? Right there. You can see that slight gap. Little bar jutting out. If I can... If I apply a little bit of pressure, it really... if I apply a little bit of pressure, it goes in and it doesn't look too bad. I'm going to have to leave it because I really don't think it's going to stick. So we have saddling. Now let's get the tail sorted. So tail looks pretty handy to put in. Does it? Which way is this going to go? Just 2 little dots, 2 little holes. Should fit in pretty handily. Yeah, there we go. Now get this tail all snug. there's a bit of plastic sticking out that I didn't clean off. Well, even if it wasn't meant to come off, it's coming off anyway. There we go. Yeah, there's still a slight little gap in some parts. But I'm not too worried about the gaps if there's a gap here, because it's right where Vandus is going to sit. So like this whole kind of mid part is completely covered. So I'm going to let that dry. Will he stand up? No, not yet. So let's let him dry and get these parts cleaned up as well. Get all these plasticky bits off. A little bit of plastic on the snout here. I wonder what the odds are of me cutting my thumb again, but this time live on stream. Although I haven't cut my thumb with the knife for a while. I'm on a bit of a good run of not cutting myself. I think he looks good. Let's get this bigger part cleaned up then. Bit on Vandus's arm. Vandus's arm. Big piece here on the front. I think I might have taken too much off on that. I think this is looking good. I think we have all the pieces off. No, we don't. There's a big piece here. Ping! I think that's everything then. The chest plate. Oh, the chest plate has like 2 or 3 pieces. Get them off as smooth as we can. A couple of little trinkets there. You want to be a little bit careful with. And then the final bit, his foot. Which I don't think has too many little pieces. 3. Let's get this one off right near the thaw. So now we have all the bits off for. I need to stretch. We have all the bits off. Hopefully all the parts of this are starting to settle. You switch to the second page permanently. Let's have a look here. So this is the last part of the head. Now I think this is where some of the biggest gaps appear. And this is the part I'm kind of worried about. So it needs to go in behind here. And it should just, there we go, bit of pressure and it should fill that. There's a little small gap there. Oh, there's going to be like a gap. Very small gap run down the snout. So I'm going to have to, God, I can't take it back out now without bending it. I'm going to have to put a good bit of glue. Well, not a good bit of glue, but put it in featured parts as well, a good bit. Get the inside of the mouth. Hopefully it'll turn out okay. Actually, what I could do if I could find it, yeah, get my trusty gripper things. Would that hold it? Kind of. Oh, I don't want to grab the horn. Even if I could just get it to grip on snout. Just to really, really close that gap. So you'll have to hold it for ages to keep that gap closed. So I'm just going to hold it for like a minute or something. We'll have a quick look at this. Let's have a look at the stream on the browser. Now, one thing I could do is up the microphone a little bit. Let's see what the audio is like now. See, that's the funny thing with streaming. The audio is the one thing that always catches me out. Even in video editing. So hopefully it'll be a bit louder. I won't have to go completely into the microphone. See what the audio is like now. So that's the funny thing with streaming. The audio is the one thing that always catches me. Yeah, that looks alright. That looks alright. Check the dashboard. Hopefully this will be set by the time I'm finished here. Wow, 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 wow. I need to turn my heater down. It's getting a little bit too steamy. Now, I think we should be good. I think everything should be alright now. Skipped frames. Oh no. Oh no. Now let's take this bad boy off. Look at that. Shit. It's not too bad. See if I can scrape some of that glue off. I'll wait till it's a bit more built up. So as for the gap in the front, it's not the worst, it's not the best. What was the one that I originally built like? Yeah, it was there, I suppose. The gaps here are fine. There is no gaps. It filled up okay. So far, we're looking good. We haven't had too many big massive gaps yet. So we have the rest of the head on. We need to get this part of the body on. Now this is where another big gap. Thank you, keyboard. Skipped frames detected. I think we're okay. We should be okay now. So let's have a dry fit of this. I think. Okay. I think it should be okay. There's a few little parts not lining up perfectly at the same time, but we'll have to work on that. So I'm gonna put a little bit of glue here. Across here, hopefully up here where it'll sit. And along the side of the stomach. And I think that should be all the place. Oh, the horn up here. Although I think I might have to come back to that later on once the rest of it is set. So it seems pretty solid now where it is, but it needs to line up in a couple of more parts. The chest part I'm not too worried about, because I know that big chest plate thing is going to cover that up. I wonder, I knew that was going to happen. Come on, man. Just hold for me. There we go. Now, if I can get this horn, if I can hold this without gluing my fingers to it again. So, 2 hands and the grippers to hold everything in place. And I still can't get this horn to stay in. Come on. There we go. Oh, I think I just bent a bit of plastic. I think I bent it the right way so it kind of stays there. Not a harness. I may hold this for a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes. Oh man, there's a big. No, hold that there. I need to hold it here. There's a big gap opening up on the belly here, so I need to hold that. The tail is okay. I kind of thought the tail was coming loose there for a minute. So I think if I take this off, it might take some of the pressure off the rest of it. See, this is the only part that's really worrying me here. But I think Vandis is going to be covering that. So I think I might be okay if I just leave that the way it is. Just focus on the horn and the other part, the underbelly part. Which was really sticking out awkwardly. I'm not worried about the front too much. That's going to be covered over. So I think it might be okay now. It's not a hard part to do. It's just make sure you have all the right parts. God, that paper is very bright. So everything here looks okay. I think it was this part here and one of his back legs. Yeah, you can just, yeah, that was really sticking out. It seems to have settled. There's a bit of a gap here, but I don't really want it. I think it might be okay because it might be covered up by Vandis. But I think when it's compared to the other one, it's much better than the other one. The other one, you can see that big gap there. This one, you can't see it. And there's another gap there. You can see that hole. Yeah, so far it's holding and it's looking much better. So I think it might be alright to go on to the next part. The last two parts, which is the chest piece. Which I suppose now we'll be able to tell if it's covered. Actually. Let me dry fit this first before I do anything. Yeah, just about covers. You can still see the little kind of connection point if you look at it from a certain angle. But other than that, it looks okay. So I think once once we get this part in, and the foot, we're about halfway through this build. Oh, don't glue me fingers, don't get the glue on my fingers. So. A little bit of pressure to really seal that gap there. I'm gonna have to hold it for a couple of seconds. I think I could tilt that camera that way, because I am holding it pretty high up the desk. Make it look a lot better when it's more in the center of the screen. I think that might be okay. And then of course the foot, which by the looks of it is going to be straightforward going in. Shouldn't be too much hassle. There we go. That went in, no bother. So we have the Drakos built. Not too hard, not too much hassle compared to what I thought the gaps were going to be like. But I think I'm more prepared for it this time. I knew there was going to be big gaps if it's not sealed perfectly. Like in the other model, there's a gap here, and there's a big gap there. But in this one, it's pretty solid, so I'm happy how this turned out. And yeah, he stands. So what is next then is going to be Vandus himself, which is pretty short actually. It's only one page. Next page after this is the Relictor. So we've only got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 roughly, 6 pieces. So I am going to have to run in to use the bathroom. There is no bathroom out in the hobby shed. I am not that privileged yet out here. I'm lucky to have a window. So I will see you guys. Actually, I have no screen to change to, do I? Just that starting soon one. Let me do this. Good old pen and paper. Oh no, it's coming out mirrored on the screen. Sugar. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, it should be fine. Just do it that way. And the end is okay. Let's go backwards 5. Come measure. Okay, I'm back. Let's get this back in 5 out of here. You alright, Beef? Oh, if you don't know who Beef is, let's see if this will stretch over here. Hey, Beefy. Banjo. Say hello. Say hello, Banjo. Hey. Such a boy. Every painting project I've done, anything I've done with the hobby, he's always been sitting under the desk with me, haven't you, boy? Yeah, big sleepy head on you. Big sleepy head on you. Yeah. So, we have the Dracot built. My camera's not straight. There we go. The Dracot is built. We are moving on to the man himself, Vandis. Now, Vandis looks like he's going to be a lot quicker. There is only one page to do for him, really. Let's stick you up here. Just out of the way, but still in frame. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. 6, I'm sure they're going to be nice and thin, nice and detailed. But I am not going to glue him to the Dracot. I'm definitely going to paint these separate this time. It is going to make it way easier to get this guy painted up. So there is the body. Number 12, which is the cape. Ping. Number 16, which is his big hammer. Hammerhand's big hammer. Bing bong. Bing. Clip this off a little bit better. His shoulder pad. Number 13. And the head and the hair thing that's on it as well. The mohawk thing. So you want to be a bit careful with the head. There's a lot of small details on the lightning parts are pretty fragile. Clip off this little mohawk thing. And that is everything off that sprue. So this is the end of it. This is the last parts of the Vandis Hammerhand build. Let's get cleaning. So get this body part, shoulder not cleaned up first. Okay, we got a couple of parts here to get. That is right on the robe part. I don't want to start taking out chunks of the robe. There's that one down. How many pieces do we have? 6, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, including this one. And there's another piece here right on rippled part of the robe we want to be careful with. It's looking okay. Parts are clipped off here. Needs to be a little bit more cleaner. The rest of it looks alright. Now this is the very fragile piece. A lot of dangly parts. Boom, 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 boom. There's a mole line. There's not really a lot of mole lines on these, or on this guy, but there's one on the hammer here that you'll want to try and clean off, because it's a really prominent part that you'll be looking at a lot. I'll give it another going over before I get it ready to prime and everything. Gotta hate cleaning up little parts on fragile pieces. You can't even hold it hard. Just have to cut it and hope for the best. And there is another piece on here. I see. Oh, there it is. On the little parchment part. And I think that is all of it. Looking good. Get the shoulder pad next, or half a shoulder pad. And the final two parts are the head. So I really love this model. I have a lot of Stormcast to build up actually. I have 2 starter sets worth. I have Sequitors, a whole new Sequitors box that I got off eBay, and the whole Mortal Realms collection. I think it's on issue 39 now. It's over there somewhere, 35. So I have all that as well. So like this guy is getting built for the Fair Farrig, the city or the Battle of Fair Farrig project, and Vandus Hammerhand is going to be like his colors, like the gold armor, kind of as he is in box or on the box. And then the rest of the army for that project is going to be their own colors. I have like this turquoise blue that I was happy with, but now I'm a little bit iffy looking at it. I might switch it to a darker blue. I don't want to go like ultramarine blue or anything. So at least I'll have like one gold Stormcast guy in the army. Now I think he's looking pretty solid there. So let's see, instructions. This part is meant to be glued onto the body. I'm not doing that yet, but this part is meant to be glued onto here. So that's pretty straightforward. That doesn't look too difficult. Oh shit, I need the needle. Clean this needle. Nozzle, needle. I wonder if I add a camera. Whoa! I need to tilt my computer down a bit. Oh. Some weird noises from my computer. Let's fix this. Brightness. Can I select auto on that? Auto on any of these? No. Let's make my big head a little bit smaller. So we need to get which Which light is it? This one is right above. I actually think it's a bit better below. There's a right reflection off that head there. So we get this. Sure, blocking the nozzle now as well. Now, hopefully it's alright. Little test of glue in my mouth. No harm. There we go. Snug as a bug. No problem with that there. The next part. Actually, the shoulder pad we can put on this as well, which is on this side. I think. There's like a chunk of the shoulder pad missing. Maybe, or maybe the arm covers it. So let's put a little bit of extra glue on it. 54 minutes. Not bad. I kind of thought about getting this in under an hour. Now, the shoulder pad is right in there. No bother. We'll just glue the head parts. You only really want to put a little bit of glue on the back of the head here. Oh no! Oh, it's meant to be like that. It's meant to be just off his head. There should be like a gap there. So let's leave that down for a minute to dry. Get this arm in. Oh, I see it now why that gap is there. It looks like the other part of the arm nestles in there nicely for a nice snug fit, I think. Kind of. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And fall out. Let's see. I think that's it. Let's have a look at this guy. Yeah, this one's kind of the same. Bit of a bigger gap in the other model, actually. I must have really fucked up that one. So every time I look at it, I find another gap. Oh, settle that arm back there a little bit, son. Get back there. Get back there. I think that's it. I think that's... I think that will do. Next thing then is to put the head in. Without knocking the arm back out. What way the head is, yeah, it's like slightly turned. So we got it. Does the head kind of sink down a bit? That's okay. Pull it back a little bit so we can get a little bit of a look at his face. So there we have Vandus and his Drakot built up. We have the two of them. They're okay to build. You know, I think if you're not, just be vigilant with them. Make sure you're covering the gaps, especially with the Drakot. Is it a Drakot? I've been calling it a Drakot all this time. And I want to just sit him in here. His arm goes under. Oh, his head still isn't sitting yet. So I don't want to mess with it too much. How the fuck do I get this under here now? Jeez, man. Wow, this is going to be a bit of a fun day. I'm going to have to glue this guy back in. Jesus Christ, that's close enough as I can get to it. Without nudging some parts out. His legs aren't fully connected, you can see there. But yeah, so that is it for the live stream. Hopefully you guys enjoy this build, and hopefully I can get a couple of more of these streams done during the week. So with that, thank you for watching.